Welcome to the Lifetime Assembly channel. My name is John, and today I'm going to help you assemble your 8x10 outdoor storage shed. Before we get started, make sure the model number of your shed is listed in the description below. This video will follow the steps outlined in the assembly manual that comes with the shed. If you've already begun and need help on a specific step, check the description below for a timestamp associated with each step. Your shed comes on a pallet in several boxes, so let's take a look at what you should have received. There are steps within this assembly that require more than one person, so be sure to have at least one other adult available to help. Before we get into the assembly process, let's take a look at the tools you'll need to complete the job. You'll need 2 7/16 wrenches, 2 3/8 wrenches, an adjustable crescent wrench, a rubber mallet, a Phillips head screwdriver, pliers, a hammer, safety glasses, and a drill. You may see us use an impact driver. If you decide to use one as well, be sure not to over torque or over tighten the hardware. To make this easier, we're going to use a Phillips head bit, vice grips, a socket adapter, and a socket set. All Lifetime sheds require a platform to be built on. We recommend building one out of concrete, but you can also build one out of lumber. It's crucial that you refer to the assembly manual to review the safety instructions for this build to prevent serious injury or property damage. This video is meant to be used as a companion to the assembly manual and not a direct replacement, so for the best results, make sure to have the assembly manual on hand during the build. Alright, let's get started. This section will go over how to build the foundation of your shed. This video will focus on the assembly of the shed and not the foundation, so it's important that you refer to your assembly manual to review how to build the foundation of your shed. Take 2 gutter channels and align the holes in the ends with the holes in the connector. Secure the gutter channels to the connector with the hardware. Line up the holes in the middle of the gutter channels with the holes at the ends of the truss brace. Then secure with the hardware, but make sure the head of the bolt is on the inside of the gutter channel. To make tightening this hardware easier, I find it helpful to put a Phillips bit inside a pair of vice grips. Into the truss rod through the connector and the hole in the middle of the truss brace. There is another hole in the truss brace, but that's just for manufacturing purposes. Only tighten this hardware enough so that the truss rod doesn't wiggle. Repeat the previous steps 2 more times for a total of 3 assemblies. Take the two gable halves that are straight at the bottom, align them in the middle, and secure with the hardware. Take a screen and place it on the back side of the vent, making sure the holes line up. Then, place it on the front side of the gable. Secure the vent and screen to the gable with the hardware. There are two square tubes that are similar. The one you need for this step does not have two holes in the middle. Insert an end cap into each end of the square tube. Place the square tube over the divots on the back of the gable and make sure that the dimpled holes are facing down. Also make sure that the square dimpled hole is facing the bottom of the gable. Make sure the holes line up with the divots and secure with the hardware. Take the gable halves that have a curve at the bottom, align them in the center, and secure with the hardware. Attach a screen and vent using the same method as the other gable. Insert a cap into each end of the square tube. Place the tube over the divots on the back of the gable, making sure the dimpled holes are facing down. Also make sure that the square dimpled hole in the middle is facing towards the bottom of the gable. Secure the tube to the gable through the two center holes first. Finish securing the tube to the gable through the oblong holes. Take the left door, which is the door with a Lifetime logo, and insert the hinge tube into the round hole at the bottom of the door. Slide the door and channel onto the opposite edge of the door, but before you do, make sure that these square holes line up with this notch. Before you slide the door and channel onto the door, add the locks to the recesses at the top and bottom of the door. Make sure the locks are oriented like this. As you slide the door and channel on, it will hold the locks in place. Place the strike plate over the door and channel, oriented like this. Place the door latch over the strike plate, oriented like this, and secure with the hardware. Place the handle over the holes on the front side of the door and then secure with the hardware from the back side. Slide the other hinge tube into the bottom of the right door. Slide the door and channel onto the opposite edge of the door, but first make sure that these square holes line up with this notch in the door. Place the thumb lever into the door handle, making sure that these tabs go into these holes. Insert the thumb lever into the hole and secure with the hardware from the back side. Add the locking hardware to the holes in the door and channel, making sure everything is oriented like this. Take this bracket and attach it to the thumb lever oriented like this. Then connect the spring to these locations. While one person stands on a panel, lift the other panel up at a 45-degree angle, interlock the tabs, and then lay it back down. Your door can go on either short edge. Decide which edge you want your door to go on and insert the bushings into the round holes. Secure the panels together by inserting a screw into the divots along the seams of each floor panel. Insert a wall support into the channel just to the left of the cutout at the top of each wall panel. Make sure that the end with the two holes close together goes to the top of the wall panel. Line up the holes with the divots and secure with the hardware. The top hole does not get any hardware. Repeat this step for the remaining wall panels. Add the short wall support to the channel on the window panel that has divots, making sure the holes line up and insert your hardware at an angle. Take a wall panel labeled AGY and insert a wall support into the right edge, making sure the two holes that are close together are at the top. Take a wall panel labeled AGN and insert a wall support on the left edge, making sure the two holes that are close together are at the bottom. Take the wall panel labeled AGY and insert the tabs at the bottom into the cutouts next to this bushing. Slide the panel towards the bushing to lock it into place. I'm comfortable kicking it over with my foot, but if you're not, you can use a block and a rubber mallet. Fold the panel in half, lean it away from the floor, align the tabs at the bottom with the cutouts on the floor panel, and then apply downward pressure to lock it into place. If you're having a hard time getting the tabs to go in, place a block under each tab and then apply downward pressure to lock them into place. Take a wall panel labeled AHD and insert the tabs into the cutouts next to the previous wall panel. Slide the panel towards the previous wall panel to lock it into place. Before securing the panels together, make sure that this line at the top is even. The window wall panel can go on either long edge. We're going to put ours here. Add the corner wall panel labeled AGW to this corner using the same method as the first corner panel. The two wall panels that go in the back must be labeled AHD. The corner wall panel that goes here will be labeled AGL. The final corner wall panel labeled AGN goes in this corner. Your shelf goes on the back wall, and the height is determined by these divots on the corner wall panel. Decide how high you want your shelf to be, and then insert the brackets into the corresponding slits on the wall supports. Fold the flaps to the end of the shelf up. Then place the shelf onto the brackets, making sure that these divots go against the back wall. Secure the shelf to the brackets in the corner wall panels with the hardware. With the help of another person, take the left door and insert the hinge tube into the bushing, making sure the hole at the bottom of the hinge tube lines up with the slit in the bushing. Then insert the cotter pin from the front side going in, and then split the ends to lock into place. Repeat the same process for the right door. Close the doors and place the gable with a curve at the bottom over the hinge tubes. Line up the holes in the gable with the divots in the corner panel and then secure with the hardware. Add the gap flaps over these divots, making sure it's oriented like this and secure with the hardware. Take a truss assembly and insert it into the notches at the top of the wall panels closest to the gable we just added. Take a roof panel and insert one edge into the gutter channel and the other edge over the gable. You know the roof panel is in the correct position when the alignment nub rests in this notch. Secure the roof panel to the wall panel through the 4 holes at the bottom. Secure the roof panel to the 2 bottom holes in the truss and the 2 bottom holes on the gable. Add your roof support through the hole in the gable and the notch on the roof panel. Finish securing the roof panel through the 3 remaining holes. Repeat the previous steps for the roof panel on the opposite side. If you're struggling with any of these steps, follow the link in the top right to see a video with some helpful tips. Repeat the previous steps for the next 2 trusses and 4 roof panels. With the help of another person, lift the gable onto the back wall and secure with the hardware. Add the final 2 roof panels using the same method as the other panels. At the front of the shed, add the roof cap labeled AGG over the roof panels and gable. Take the next roof cap labeled AFY and place it over the previous roof cap and secure it to the roof and trusses. Repeat this process for the next 2 roof caps. The last roof cap will be labeled AFW. Fold your skylight in half and then place it through the hole and line up the tabs on the skylight with the holes in the roof panels. Repeat the previous step 3 more times for the remaining skylights. Take the window panel and peel the plastic film from both sides. Place the window inside the frame, making sure the lip is at the top and facing inside the shed. Insert the screw into the hole at the bottom of the window. Secure the window locks into these divots, making sure the hardware is loose so that the window locks can slide freely. Place these hooks in the recesses throughout the shed. Next, you're going to need to level the doors. Click on this link here to see a video on how to do that. We've already done this, so we're going to move on. This section will go over how to anchor your shed to your foundation. Since we're inside, we're not going to be able to do that, but it's important that you do. So refer to your manual in section 14 to see how to properly anchor your shed. Thank you for watching this video on how to assemble your lifetime 8x10 outdoor storage shed. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to our customer service team and check out our other awesome products at lifetime.com.